Welcome back, ladies and gents, to a sit down with Shelley, where we do what? Here we make it make sense. First and foremost, Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Listen, I hope you guys got all of the things out of the way and left those things that should not be carried over into 2025. And let's start out with a brand new 2026 with your dreams, your aspirations, and most importantly, your peace. 2026 is all about peace, guys. So listen, guys, listen. You guys are in for a wonderful treat. I am blessed because she's a part of me, right? But I am honored. I am blessed. I am all of the things that a mother could be in this moment. I am here to share this seat, the table, with my daughter, my firstborn, Akirah Milan. Hey, honey. Hey, baby. Listen, guys. Today episode is geared towards Milan and I journey. And our title topic, how you want to call it today, is a sit down with my transgender daughter. And we are just here to, share our testimony a little bit because we know that life is not cookie cut, right? And it is not textbook. There's no manual that comes with parenthood. There's no manual that comes with childhood, raising a child. Nothing. They don't prepare you, for the things. You have to go on what you know, what you think you know. You go off, how you was raised, and all of those type of situations and environments. And then you throw into the church, and then you throw in people, and you just throw in all of the other things but God.
Yeah.
Right. And our topic is really about from confusion to connection, because that was our journey. It started out in a lot of confusion, not only for her, but for me, as her mom. And the blessing that came out of it was our wonderful connection that we have till today, because I will mollywop the earth for her. And so so we're going to just dive on in. It's just going to be some candid conversations, some laughs, maybe some cries. We're going to try not to cry, y'all, because she's too beautiful to mess up all of that she got going on. She is her mother's child. Can't you see it? But yeah, guys, so we're just going to dive in, and hopefully this message, this episode will help touch one of you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and give her an opportunity to say hi to you guys, and maybe you can share whatever you want to share. Talk to the people.
Hey, everybody. You can say Milan. Everybody knows me as Milan, but those, I guess, in my inner circle, my family, particularly my mom, and I think maybe a few best friends know me as Akirah. It's a name I'm kind of like going back and forth between, but sat down with my mom, realized that I wanted to keep the A in my name from my birth name. So birth name was Alante, but I wanted to change it to Akirah. And then middle name would be Milan, and then my last name was Clark. So, but everybody knows me as Milan. So, yeah, I don't know what else to do.
Tell the people how old you are.
31. As I can see, I look good for 31 though.
And you do.
But 31, I'm the oldest. I'm an Aries. Currently working at Amazon. Kind of stressful, but it pays the bills.
Yeah.
Love to dance, love house music. Got my mom into it now.
And do.
Janet, walking the whole way here.
Yes.
I'm pretty simple. I'm kind of like a loner child, but I'm like, I'm social, but then I can be antisocial as well. I guess what growing up, how things went with my family, I was always the, I guess, how you want to say it?
Say it.
Kind of like an outsider, but I was also like at the end of the day, I was family, but I kind of felt like an outsider because I always felt different.
Yeah.
And so but I knew I was loved though. It wasn't until I think it wasn't until I started getting in trouble with school that I started to see, the different levels of love and hurt that was going on in our household with not just y'all, but me and my siblings as well.
Yeah.
So even that journey, trying to battle all that in one was a lot. Yeah, but that's kind of like, what helped for me into who I am today.
Okay, so you all got a little, backdrop on my baby. Okay, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and start off.
Okay, so first question is, what were you honestly feeling when I came out so young?
What was I feeling when you came out so young? So listen, if I remember correctly, you were were you in 7th grade? Yeah, no, it was younger than that, right? You was at Friendship.
I was 10, 11.
10, 11. Okay. I remember you writing me a letter.
Mm-hmm.
You wrote a letter, and I believe you left it on my pillow.
No, I tried to put it in the mirror.
Against it. No. But I do remember then he
at the time.
At the time wrote me a letter. Of course, like I said, 10, 11, wrote me a letter, and I wasn't shocked because we heard it. I heard it all your life from the day you were born. She is so beautiful because my baby was chunky with a head full of curly hair. Like, oh my God, just a head of, like, if you can just picture like those Goldilocks curls, silky, just on a black baby, right? And I always got, she is so beautiful. Oh my God, you're like he, but hey, listen, okay, let's clock that. They was telling me something.
The old security as your job, your first government building you used to work
at the Bundy building or down 15th Street, downtown.
This one we were still kids, I think.
Bundy building.
So this
Bundy building, yes.
I think she betted me $1.
Yes.
For every time she called me a girl.
Yes.
She would get every time she called me a girl, she'd give me $1.
Yes.
Me.
And it was
I thought it was funny.
I
didn't take it offensive. I thought it was funny.
Yes. Like, but and look at, as they say, hindsight 2020, all others saw maybe, who you were, and because I was mom, I had a son, you know what I mean? And that's what that was. But when you came out, confused, just of the fact of, not confusion, hurt. You know what I mean? Because in all honesty, as parents, and especially mother, because we're the ones who carrying you guys, and when you look at it from that view, I already had dreams of you. You know what I mean? You're gonna be this bomb dancer, married with your wife, children. That was the dream.
Yeah.
That was the dream. You know what I mean? When you look back on it, now that I've spiritually matured, I can honestly say now, since I've been on that, I know that that's not what parenthood is.
Yeah.
We cannot put on our dreams and aspirations, and we can have standards for you guys and expectations of you guys. But within that, still being who you are. So it was more hurt, absolute fear.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, it was all fear. Like when you came out, and it's so crazy because you have gay relatives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have
That
gay
yeah,
relatives.
that was what was so confusing for me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand. I guess being
and
only at the time only going off what I saw off TV, movies, knowing that we had gay relatives, in the family member, in the family.
Yeah.
It was just so confusing. I was like, I couldn't understand why it wasn't okay, or and if anybody else like. That was like I said. It wasn't that I didn't get accepted. I knew I was going to get rejection from some people.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really know to the full extent of what how much rejection I was going to get, but I just the reason why it was so like mind boggling to me and like ultimately world turning because I thought if nobody was going to accept me, I knew for a fact 100%. Like you couldn't tell me for a fact you was going to like not be okay with it. So when you came in, like I said, it wasn't a full rejection. It was a hesitation, and the hesitation I caught it. Yeah, and it was kind of like this like sense of like knowing when someone's not being, I guess, 100% true. Yeah. I got it from grandma. Yeah, she could pick up on something like really easily. Yeah. So, and I guess I spent a lot of time with grandma out of all the grandkids when I was really young with her. I was one of the ones that spent a lot of time with her. I was a teen mom. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time with grandma, and so I got that from her. And I used to always tell you that whatever. So I'm like I knew you wasn't okay with it. Like you was like trying to convince me that it was, but because you was battling with trying to like convince me that you're okay, but not show that you're not okay with it at that time. And like I said, just not knowing what to do at the time as well. So it wasn't just like you was completely against it. It was mostly like I said, your fear. Yeah. Because you knew what I was gonna experience that young, and then back in that time. Yeah. When I came out, and just like I said, you didn't want the hardship for me. Like I said, you went through it as a teen mom, and we had, like I said, outside of like the little obstacles with being black and gay and so young, I didn't really have any other issues. Well, outside of my attention span in school, but just with the foundation of how you and Lee raised us, there was no issue. So like I said, I didn't learn that until of course I got older. But that's why it was so confusing for me. Because it was like I knew she was like she got. Then at the time I knew you had coworkers that was so. And you always bragged about your one gay coworker. He back you up. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm nervous to have this face-to-face conversation with her, but let me know whatever. Then I'm just throwing her from it, just running around. Yeah. And she'll come. I know she'll talk to me, so I just sat in there anxious. I'm like, I know. Just waiting. And it was cool because I had like the door it had like a little vent I could see. So I knew we was in the corner. And I was like, okay. I never knew that. I was like, I'm just waiting. I was like, all right, I don't know what's gonna happen, Yeah. And I already said it in the letter, so I'm like, just reiterate it, and you know. Yeah. And I knew I would, outside of we not being the best if I was focusing on my schoolwork. Yeah. I know I wasn't a bad kid, so I was like, okay, it's not gonna be no issue. You know, she'll probably enlighten me on what I need to know. Yeah. As a young gay person, because we have family, and you kind of grew up around them as well. And I can, looking at your childhood, I caused a lot of that hardship for you. You know what I mean? I don't think that your journey would have been as hard had I not been as hard. Yeah. In operating in that fear. So that's what that was. I was just really operating out of fear because I'm like, and I think during that time too, when you did come out, it was so many stories, going on with gay boys or lesbian girls being raped and sodomized and beaten and killed, and it's like, no, okay, relatives can do that. They are not my children. Yeah. This is my child. No, you can't be, because if you are gay, then that means now, not only are you got 2 strikes already, right? You're a boy, you're a black boy, you're a black brown boy, and you're now a black boy that is gay, right? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, nah, because now there's a target on my baby's back. Yeah. Now people are going to be, after him, and nah, not mine. And that was that fear
And then too, how people thought, because back then I cared what people thought of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How is people going to see the family? How are they going to see me? How is they going to see you? You know what I mean? And it was just being young.
You just panicked.
Understatement.
Yeah.
Understatement. That's we got to find another word, like anxiety, something, you know what I mean? But it was definitely panic. And then I didn't have anybody to talk to that kind of reared me like, no, this is what it is. And then I think even with me being stubborn back then, if someone had, when they would say it, I would like, shh, just like, shh, nope, not mine. You know what I mean?
I don't think you at the time 100% trusted anybody, even in the family.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we got parents still, that some of my family members, cousins are gay, so that raised, gay children, whatever. So, but I think just in that time, honestly, you just didn't know how to trust people. And like I said, you care what people thought, so you probably think like it wouldn't be genuine.
Yeah.
It was something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One moment is like,
it's okay, but then
to the face behind closed doors is this judgment, whatever. So
yeah.
I think, like I said, you had a lot going on in your head at the time, and there's no rubric to how to raise gay kids, or trans, whether I was whether you was okay with it, and then raising a trans child at the time, whatever. There was even still then we wouldn't know what to do. So yeah.
Okay, let's see. When you think back to your childhood, when did you first start to feel different or uncertain about who you were?
I want to say, off the top of my head, I always knew. I think around 1. And it's weird, and it's so crazy because like looking at Josiah, how smart he was at like 4 and 3, I was like, and then how much he looked like me. It was like watching me grow up all over again. It was like, so I was like, yeah, like I knew early, and I think around 1 I was in like maybe that's like 4th grade, I believe. Yeah. If I got the timeline right,
like around 1. Well, then not yet. So like I would say like 4th grade, like maybe what 4. So you just knew early.
Yeah, like around like 1, 2, yeah, because around 4 in first grade, yeah, I was 4 in first grade, but yeah, like I said, I knew before before then. So
because when you went into first grade, you were going on 5 because the way your birthday fell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, right.
You was going on 5 the way your birthday fell.
And then so yeah, I do remember going over my cousin's houses and just knowing I was different, and then like, just having having family members that were of the community. I guess that was what at a young age. Well, even though I didn't understand, it was showing me, I guess, like who I was. Yeah. I was able to see who I was, but I was not knowing what it was. Yeah. So by the time as I got older, I kind of just I knew and then have heard it, and then just by 10, I had the courage to like go and say it. But I feel like it was kind of like rhetorical telling you, because I feel like say my mom, I'm like she knows. If anybody knows, my mom knows. Yeah. And like I said, my family has spoken, like I said, spoken on it before, especially my aunt. So it's like she know, but I guess I just needed that confirmation that you knew and that it was okay. So
and I didn't give you that.
Yeah, like I said, it was like you tried, and like I said, so that was I could look back at some point when after the apology you made, I was able to see like it was no need to apologize to a certain point. Cause like I realized you understand that you made a mistake. Yeah. And it was like it was okay, but
okay. Questions? What you got?
Let's see. Yeah, no. Let's see. Okay, so were you more afraid of how others, especially the church, would see me, or how they see you?
Yeah, I did. I thought maybe you would skip that one, but it's all good. I did. And we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
In length. I did care because I was in that I was a yes person.
Yeah.
Back then.
I remember, yeah.
I was a yes. If it was said it was for God, yes.
Right.
If it was for God, yes. If it was dealing with God, yes. And in the beginning, I can't take anything from it. In the beginning, it was very much yes, right? But I later learned that some can be called in a moment,
yeah,
or in a season, but it can also turn back somewhat wicked in other seasons. Because a lot of churches use the word for their betterment.
Yeah.
And not the betterment of the word itself.
Yeah.
And when you are trying to get to know who God is for the first time for yourself, not because your parents took you, your grandparents took you. I hadn't been solidified in a church since Holy Name. That was all grandma and great grandma doing, right? But when you start to want to change and do things differently, and when you hear about God, you know about him, but you don't know him intimately for yourself, you are very impressionable.
Yeah.
Because the ones that are leading you are supposed to lead you in love and not in flesh, camouflage as spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I was so fearful of what that looked like. I put you before folk who led with flesh and not spirit. When you have leaders telling you to put your child out because their spirit, that homosexual spirit, is going to then transfer to your younger son, right? And you don't know no better.
Yeah.
Because you read the word, and it's like, it's a sin. When you look at his word, it's like, no sin is greater than another sin. Right? A sin is a sin is a sin, right? And we sin by judging, right? We sin by our thoughts. We sin by our words. We sin by the manipulation of others, right? So how can one sin be greater than the next sin? Right? Now we know that there's some that's on the top of the list, right, that he said, like, we know that, right? But when you really look at it, there was no love in that. Because had it been, I'm not going to say all, that it wasn't in love. I'm not going to say all, right, from the church. Because I had one that was like, love him. And she was a leader, right? Just love him, Shamel. Just love him.
I knew the ones that was genuine. And the ones who was fake.
And then when you have the church where you have people in the church, let me say it that way, because it's not the church, because we are the church. Because he say, hide thy word in thy heart. We are, the physical body is the church. The building is for fellowship, to come together. But when he say two or more are gathered, right? And so the church did play a big role in the delay of where we are today.
Yeah.
Because had I known and really because I was new in the word, you know what I'm saying? So I'm being taught the word. You know, I don't really know how to decipher the word. I don't know how to translate the word. I'm listening to the word. I know how the word makes me feel in within spirit. I know that, but I don't know the word just good enough yet to be able to dissect it for myself yet.
Right.
Because he say, study thyself so that you can know. You got to study for self, right? And although I was studying, I still need somebody to help me dissect what that is and what that looks like. And when you have people that know you knew, and then to have our family dynamic and to weaponize it in front of folk, but not help, it's a lot. And it hurts, but I've forgiven. It hurts, but I have forgiven. Because I'm taking accountability as your mom to just have known better, thought better, and just loved better. Instead of listening to people who I thought had our best interests at heart, but has shown time and time again that they did not. Again, not all, but one. Because everyone else, yeah.
Well, maybe some people, like I said, from that I gather it may be some people that I thought was genuine.
Yeah.
That you later saw, or at some point you saw that it wasn't.
No, most were. Like I said, the issue is with one. Well, the matter, because it's no longer an issue. The matter was with one. At the, when you look back at it, it was one. I can't group everyone else into that because everyone else was nothing but love.
Okay, I was a
Chrissy, love.
From what you saw.
Yeah. From my perspective on just how, even with how they treated you, in that space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it later came out that, but the one main is the one that should have been more loving, not more of the congregation, yes, but the leader.
Yeah.
The as they say, the head, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it from that perspective, it should have been, but it was not. It was portrayed as. The show was very well entertaining when you look back at it. Mm-hmm. But nothing, and I mean nothing, came of it. The words was there, and that's why I think now I'm so big on action.
Yeah.
I don't care about your words. You can't just say anything to me no more. Okay, I hear you. What are your actions doing? And back then, there was no action that led up to where only action of demise, only action of against, but again, camouflage with the word, because it was saying that if you don't know the word better than me, you can't argue with me. You can't converse with me. You can't debate with me. If you don't know the word better than me, because those words were stated.
Yeah.
If you don't know the words better than me, then what you do know, what God has given you, really don't matter, because you don't know as much as I do. You haven't been here in this lane as long as I have. That is what was given off.
A Sit Down with Shelley podcast is going live. Join us at the District Lab, located at 5019 Indian Head Highway, Oxon Hill, Maryland. January 11, 2026 from 2 to 4 p.m. Doors open at 1:45 p.m. Come experience an unforgettable afternoon featuring live music, giveaways, free food, best dress contest, and a powerful panel discussion. Our panel of 3 will explore how family dynamics shift when the grandparents, the heart and glue of the family, are no longer here. Space is limited, so secure your ticket today. Don't miss the A Sit Down with Shelley podcast live event Sunday, January 11, 2026 at the District Lab. Mark your calendars, you don't want to miss it. For more information, contact us at asitdownwithshelley@gmail.com.
That was the energy. That was the spirit. When you learn God for yourself, God had been showing me, and I'm like, no, God, you're not showing me that because you brought me here. Like, how you gonna show me this if you brought me here? But everything is for a reason, and everything is in a season.
Yeah.
There are 4 seasons in a year, and when you are with someone, around someone in that space, in those 4 seasons, you're going to see different parts of them in those seasons. And I'm in a now space of what you show me is what I'm going to believe.
Yeah.
What you show me is I'm going to believe that. Okay, we're going to stick with this for a second. How did my faith and the pastor influence affect how safe you felt with me?
Whatever safety I felt. Okay, no, actually, I'm gonna rephrase it. Like the faith I had in you before church, definitely like decreased a lot. Almost none, but I wasn't naive because I knew how y'all raised us. So like I said, I knew you loved me, but at the time I didn't feel it. I mean, it was like maybe I don't belong. Because like I said, I feel like I said, and I said it for so many years. Like if I was out of the equation, I feel like it'll alleviate all you and leave stress. I didn't them at the time. But yeah, once we had in church, whatever, I just felt like whatever they said, it was gonna be highly influenced. Like whatever will you have, your own thought process of how you want to maybe go about it. Didn't matter at that point. It was definitely like what they kind of like with the church, especially him. I felt like his wife at the time she did her best, I think, to be
as supportive as she could be in her place.
And I felt, and like I said, that's why I said it wasn't all people, because I can tell who was genuine and who wasn't. And it was sad to see like that conflict. Like it's kind of like a child like using their parents against each other, like you know. So it was kind of hard. Like I said, I knew she couldn't really do much on her own. Yeah. And I just wish she could. I just wish, like, she didn't care, and she she had her own mind, her own opinion, and was able to actually like 100% act on that. Yeah. And not care about nothing else behind it. But I understood why she couldn't. Yeah. But once we got into church, whatever, I just realized it was down here from there, and like I just couldn't wait for it to be over. So once we got to the point of when you all allow us not to like go, and but y'all had another way for us to be involved with church, whatever. I think it was like either listen to the sermon at the time, or it was something, but we had to do something for y'all to equate for not going. Yeah. So, but I was happy when that time came, because it was like, I'm sick of this place. I'm sick of how this is going. Yeah. I could do nothing about it. Yeah. It was like having women to be comfortable around. It was good to have people in church that I could be myself. Yeah. No judgment. Of course, people still was still pushing the word on me, but that was like the wrong time. And I like the way as time went on. I like the way you guys taught us how to get involved with it without in our own way. Yeah. That way is it feels comfortable. Yeah. It makes sense to us. Yeah. And it's not out of my comfort zones. Because like I said, for a long time I had a weird relationship with God. So I just kind of realized that, my connection or any thought process I have of God is always related to you. Yeah. I think of you first. So because I saw your growth with, your spiritual journey, and it just makes sense, whatever, and just to see how that change influenced the change on our relationship, and just like our family dynamic overall. Like I said, whenever I think about anything spiritual, whatever, like you the first thought. It's like kind of like you and God go hand Like I see two heads, so it's like both of y'all talking at the same time. It's like, what would she say?
So you don't have a bad person. You got two good people on each
like,
side.
Okay. What would she do? And it was like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I know you follow this certain guideline.
Yeah.
And it has gotten you so far in life, whatever, and it has gotten us, it kept us in good spaces when, if you wasn't probably very religious as you was, yeah, we probably would have been in some bad times.
Yeah.
You know? But we wasn't. So that's how I know, like, okay, all right, something going on here.
Yeah.
I understand it, but
and
if it works for her, it works for me. So, you know.
Yeah, and I know when that moment happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I remember you were in Job Corps. And I think one of those questions is in here, but I can't see it because my eyes are a little blurry. But you know what? I remember you coming home. You called, and I think either you were coming home for like either a break or you were coming home for good. I can't remember which one it was, but I remember driving on 95 when you called. And it was raining so hard that day. Like it was raining that day. Like you could already barely see like the lines or whatever. And I remember we was living down, I think East Meadows during that time. And I would take, I think it's exit 7, because it's not 9. I think it's 7. And once you take 7, the house is literally like, you're right there on St. Barnabas. So we're like, what, maybe 10 minutes from there, from right there, St. Barnabas. And I remember that day you called, and it took me 45 minutes to get home from that exit because I had to pull over. Because as clearly as you and I were talking, and you said, your words said you wasn't going to come home to me. You wasn't coming home to my house. And I'm like, I'm not the person that I was I'm not the mother that I was when you left. If you just come home and give me an opportunity, I'm not saying I'm perfect. You know, I'm not saying that I have it all, but I'm like, just come home and give me a chance. If you see any signs that I reverted back, you know, you can leave and I understand. It won't be no friction. We'll figure it out, but you don't have to stay. You know what I mean? And I remember that day and us talking. I remember God just as clearly as we're in front of each other, God just said, I gave her the love for you to just love. Like nothing else mattered. Just love. Just love. And I knew you were still battling like your transition, you know, then, because you were only dressed as a boy if we pushed it on you, but you going off the Job Corps kind of minimized our control.
Yeah.
As you can say it was, you know. And but yeah, I remember that day. I remember that. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. We're gonna talk about some struggles. Let's see. When you ran away, or you see the question that I'm about to ask, can I say that other part? The second part. Segment 2. See the first one?
Yeah.
I can ask that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you ran away or hurt yourself, what was happening inside of your heart? What was you feeling? How what brought you to that moment or those moments? Because you did run away, you did hurt yourself. So can you, elaborate or just a little bit on that?
It was honestly at that time it was really simple for me. It was before running away.
And he ran away to his own house that I didn't know for 30 days.
And the way I did it was so smooth.
I can laugh about it now. I want to reach across here and like hit her because I'm going back to the moment in frantic that I had to have her sister call me to say she ain't home and she was watching her little sister. But go ahead, I digress.
I think I was watching somebody.
Oh yeah, your little
time,
sister.
It was. I'm like, she old enough. I said,
you were shy at the time.
See, my mind, I'm like, because I was shy. We always mature, so like for us to be young, like I said, you raised us good, so yeah, I was out of there. I was out
Suitcase
there.
and all.
It was a long walk. And then, like I said, I had to still be on point because I had to walk past Lee's job.
You do.
I had to sneak past his job. Like I said, it wasn't no sneaking past, like, cause that's the open road. So, and his building sat right down the street.
I forgot that he was working out of that truck place down back there.
I think that's the little MLK.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about that he worked back there. So you didn't.
I walked to the Carrollton station. Yes.
Okay, go ahead with your story, child.
Yes, but yeah, it was for me to like just to, like I say, erase myself from the equation. In my mind, I felt like I was making everything better, honestly, for Shy. Oh yeah, at that time, I think Ari felt the way that we were. That this was like I think either after that or before we moved to Convoy. I think that was after actually.
Yeah, we moved to Convoy. I think
before. Yeah, so Ari felt like she didn't have a brother at the time. Yeah, and I was the only brother I wasn't the only brother she had, but I was her oldest, and her other brother was younger than her. So she didn't have an older brother growing up. Well, she did, but just a different older brother. Well, not the older brother that we were raised to.
Right, the traditional older
brother.
The traditional brother.
So, and because we didn't understand how to
foster that,
whatever. She didn't know how to foster her emotions on that topic as well. All she had was her side of the family. So I just felt like I was like, I'll just solve everybody's problem. Yeah, Lee didn't have the son he wanted to, continue the football dream that him and granddad had. So, and then I just like, it was weird because like part of me knew like out of everything like you supported my dance dream. Yeah. But I just felt like it was gonna be a disconnect because of who I was. Yeah. So I felt like that vision was gonna be lost, and then that's just wouldn't it like that probably would have ruined dance for me or something like that. Yeah.
I didn't even connect that because, and not to cut you off.
Yeah. And like that was like the one thing we had. So like. Because you grew up dancing, and like my passion was like I took that from you.
All of y'all did, and it's crazy. I'm sorry, God, but it's. Thank you. I said I was gonna have some control.
Because my ADHD, like I said, it's just my thoughts. So like,
and no,
it's not playing what I'm talking about.
It's hitting a little harder because. I remember saying, parents are their children's dream killers. And I didn't.
But honestly, you didn't. And the only way I felt like, okay, yeah, I can say yeah, because
of the circumstance, because of me being the parent. Had I fostered you properly and nurtured you properly,
I'd have been
you would have been in your dream.
Jennifer?
But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I just, just to know that, because I know how much you loved dancing. But yeah, I just, while you saying it just like something, not that you forget, but because we're where we are today.
We got past so much.
We got past so much, but to hear you say it out loud and to know that because I know how much you love dancing. We're going to figure something out because we're going to get you back in it. But I got makeup, y'all. I know she has forgiven me, guys, because we have done our healing journey, and so, things will still transpire in life, that you still have to, get through. And because we have to, it's easy to blame your child to say they're a bad kid. It's real easy to say so. But the mature thing we all as parents have to do is to know that we make mistakes too.
Yeah.
And how can we teach our children forgiveness and how to get through certain things or accept accountability for their actions?
Yeah.
If you, the parent, think you're right all the time.
Right.
No, the things I've said, the things that I've done, molded your childhood in a not so good way. That fear, the church allowing them to filtrate so deeply in my head where I wasn't strong enough for myself or have a strong enough relationship with God. Let me say it that way. Let's see. We're gonna go to the second card, babe.
Okay.
Go to your second card. Yeah. Who's trying to ask the question? Not me. It's you? Yeah, you go ahead. Give me a break. Give my brain a chance. Go ahead, baby. And you can do any one. Except for the last, because we're gonna do the last one in closing, okay? You pick one from your side, and I'll pick one from my side.
I like this one actually. Did you read this on you thought you had?
I knew you are my kid. I knew you were going to pick that one. You know what, baby? I'm not going to say I had to grieve you because you're you. You know what I mean? I'll say it this way.
In a way, it's kind of like
I've grieved the thought of a son.
Yes.
Did that make sense? I've grieved the dream that I had of the traditional son. I've grieved that.
Yeah.
Because you're still my child.
I mean,
you was just born male,
I can imagine.
And you're my daughter.
Thoughts,
you get what I'm saying? Like, so I grieve the idea of a son. That's what I got. Because my firstborn, because that was my dream. I'm gonna have my son first. I'm gonna have my daughter second, and I got it. You know what I mean? Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, you still got it.
I just wasn't specific.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because they say write it down, make it plain. You got to be real direct with God when you pray, and it's crazy because everything I prayed for, I received. You get what I'm saying? I gave birth to a son who's my beautiful daughter. Gorgeous because she looked like her mother. But I have a son who is Anna and not the same dad, right? Josiah possessed your spirit. Y'all both introverts, but could be very extrovert. You know what I mean? Because you could be by your lonesome, but you could be the life of the party. Yeah. Like they mama. Oh, y'all got a lot of good things from me. But so yeah, I would say that I grieve the idea of what I thought my son was going to be. But love the daughter that I have. Yeah. In love with the daughter that I have. Not like that, y'all. We are the one family. Okay. All right, we're going let me ask you one more, then we're going to go on to our other one, okay? So let's see. Ooh. I already know the answer to that one. Let's see. What was the hardest part of transitioning emotionally or mentally? What was the most hardest part for you?
For me, it's it's more mental.
Okay.
Because like in your mind, like when I do, like whenever I get dressed, I've always seen what I could look like.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's like for those who don't live, like this is not their life, and not just
a trend
or performance,
whatever.
Just for a costume at that time, whatever.
Okay.
If you're not 100%, I guess you don't see a full woman in your early stages, whatever. It could be a lot.
Okay. And did you see that early on? Did you see yourself as let's say a little girl? Did you see yourself, and then when you came a teenager, a young lady, did you see yourself as a girl back then? Or was you unsure?
So I didn't know back then. Hence, when I was younger, playing with grandma's wigs and your heels.
I'm taking her sister clothes.
No, I'm saying even before then.
Okay.
This before I was even going to school doing it.
Okay.
This when I was like younger, I'd be at grandma's closet and she'll catch me like playing with her heels or whatever randomly.
Yeah.
And she'll have to tell me to take them off. Whatever. I think so. Even like then, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But it was like a weird. It was a weird interest. Yeah.
Okay.
That I had. Even with like my action figures.
Yeah.
From toys. And don't get me wrong, I liked all toys, but
yes,
girl or
you
boy.
did.
But I just noticed my attraction to
attention to
anything feminine.
Yeah.
And so then, like I said, when I started dressing and transitioning, it was just like you don't want to see the old you no more.
Yeah.
Like I said, because in my mind, like I can visualize the new me, but I'm not seeing it 100%. So you gotta like kind of like keep facing. It's like being in denial of being an addict.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I dress up, whatever, I feel a certain way, look a certain way. But when you take it off, it's like you gotta deal with the thought process of like feel like I'm a fraud.
Okay. And you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah. And just like I said, wishing that, like I said, so it's a little hard mentally, but I guess for me, I had a lot of feminine features growing up, so I got something to work with. So I kind of like just put my mindset in that space of like work with what you got. Something kind of like what you taught me too, like work with what you got, whatever, make it work, make it look good, and then just work towards that goal. Yeah. So for me, it's more mental, but yeah, I've been pretty good for the most part.
Okay.
Even when I first transitioned, I didn't go through like the mood swings.
Yeah, you didn't.
Like I said, I was pretty much aware of myself, whatever. Self-aware.
Okay.
Like whether I'm getting sick or somewhat on my body. So like I said, mentally, I was kind of like more excited and more eager to do it than concerned with like
anything else.
Anything else.
Gotcha. All right. So in closing, all right, you got one more question for me.
All right.
You pick which one you want. And it could be anyone.
What would you say to parents now? Like what advice would you give to parents?
The advice that I would give is just to lead with love. Take out your vision of what you thought you wanted. And just lead with love. No matter your religion, no matter your upbringing, no matter your environment, no matter your circle, your family dynamic, you gave birth or you helped get that, you planted, you helped water the seed.
Yeah.
So this is for mothers, this is just for parents. No matter what others outside of your four walls, and even if it's within your four walls, if it's against the betterment of your child, it need not to be a part of the equation. Love your child first. Well, let me rewind. Lead with God, and God will show you how to properly love your child. Because all you have to do is just love your child. It may not be what you agree with. It may not be something that you want for your child, but at the end of the day, it is not your life. The same way you had to find your way and become who you are today, they are doing the same thing. It's just a different day and a different time. That's it. We still have to nurture them. We still have to make them the best people that they can be. We are here to help and not to hinder. I hindered in the beginning. I am helping I am making up with help every day. Every second she tell me I ain't got to ask for forgiveness no more. But I still pray within that because I know the harm that I caused. I know the detriment that I caused. And in me operating the way I operated in this fear, in this judgment, how people would see me, I could not have my daughter here because she cut. And as you all know, that can lead to so many other things. But never have your child to feel isolated when the world has already isolated them. They should not feel isolated in the home and outside of the home, because outside of the home don't care. Baby, I love you so, so much. And I pray that this helps someone somewhere. Know that I'll say this to the little ones who's trying to find who they are, trying to realize who they are to themselves. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with my beautiful daughter. It was never anything wrong with her. I stunted that. She didn't. It was my job to direct. And I did a poor job at that in the beginning, but I got her now. And this day forward to the Lord takes me home. But be who you are. Do not compromise who you are for anyone. Love yourself, because you damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So you might as well just be you and do you and just be damned. And before we close out, again, baby, I love you. I thank you. Guys, we have a live show coming up on January the 11th, 2026 at the District Lab in Eastover Shopping Center down in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Okay, listen, we have our two winners. I believe the first winner, her name was Sting Knight, Prince King, and then we have Cody was our winner number 2. Guys, I have to make this special announcement. We actually had another winner, but because this supporter, this seat taker, truth teller fan supporting the I Sit Down with Shelley podcast, she is in the Philippines. So I need you guys' help, okay? I need you guys to help me figure out a way to get her a gift. You all don't have to worry about the gift. I'm going to get her the gift, but I need somebody to help me find a way. She's in the Philippines, so I want to be able to get this to her. Her Instagram is C_TRC_ on Instagram. So guys, like, share. If this episode touched you, go over, hit that subscribe button on that YouTube channel or Sit Down with Shelley. And we look forward to seeing you guys. Get your tickets. They're selling out. We don't have many left. So I believe the sale date is going to end on January the 7th, and then they're going to go up, okay, because it's the last few days. So get your tickets while you can. It's on Eventbrite at a Sit Down with Shelley, where we do what? Here. We make it make sense. Mm-hmm. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to a Sit Down with Shelley, where you know what? Here we make it make sense. Hey, I'm just asking you guys to like, share, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And listen, if you don't hit that notification bell, how are you going to keep up with the episodes? You don't want to miss out. Thank you again for a Sit Down with Shelley.